Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a tutorial on a Game Boy plushie. I made one of these around about 3 years ago now, and my techniques have changed so much, and I received a request from XXX Wolf, I will leave the comment on screen now, to make an updated one of these with some measurements and stuff like that. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to do this for today's video. This is how the plush has turned out. It's much smaller, much more 3D. It's got some metallic bits on there. I have hand sewn the whole thing so that if you just have a needle and thread and don't have a sewing machine, you'll be able to create this. I have actually like reinforced it and stuff with my sewing machine because I already have that there, but that's, you know, that's fine. But if you have any requests for any videos for this month on my daily DIYs, then do leave them down in the comments down below. Please only leave your request once though, because when like you leave a request and I like it, I do write it down in a notebook, and I have noticed that some people have been like leaving it like multiple videos over and over and over, and I'm getting really confused. So yeah, please do make sure I do read all my comments and I do take notes in my notebook. But yeah, this is the video today on how I made this little kawaii plush. So hopefully you enjoy it. I will leave all of the details, all of the measurements, everything like that down in the description. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. So you're going to need 2 rectangles of plush fabric. You want to cut these out to be the exact same size, and then you're going to need a long strip of plush fabric, the same kind of length as the whole diameter of that rectangle. As you can see here, I'm twisting my rectangle up, cutting that strip out around about 1 inch wide, and that will give me the right kind of, you know, size and length without having to measure it with a ruler or tape measure. It's just a great little tip that I have there. So to sew these pieces together, you're going to want to put them right sides together, so fluffy sides together, and you're going to want to start stitching. It's just a normal hand stitch halfway across one of the shorter lengths. When you get to the corners, you're going to want to pivot that long strip of fabric around the corner and just start stitching it down as normal. So when you get to the corner, just pivot around that long strip and carry on stitching as normal. So you're going to want to do this all the way around until you have the 2 end bits like so. You're then going to want to stitch those together. What I find easiest is putting it down on a desk, pulling out the corners with my fingers, and then I've got like the right size that I want, and then pinching together those 2 ends and stitching those shut in a straight line, so that I'm left with like this 3D edging around one of the sides. As you can see here, when you turn it right sides together, it should all be nice and tight. So then you're going to want to take a smaller kind of different coloured piece of plush fabric. In my previous Game Boy I used a white, but in this one I figured I would use a grey because it's more kind of like a Game Boy screen. It's like a grey colour, isn't it, rather than a white. So you want to cut this out sort of the same size as you want the screen to be, maybe 1 centimetre on each side, so that you're able to tuck in the raw edges and then stitch that down so that you're left with really neat edges of plush fabric and it's not going to fray everywhere. So as you can see here, once I get to like the next side, I then fold it down and start stitching, and then when I get to like that corner of the next one, I fold it down, start stitching, so that it ends up being really neat all the way around and fully secure. So once you have your screen part in place, you're then going to want to move on and create the buttons and stuff. So the buttons, I use wool felt because I find it's just the best quality kind of felt rather than acrylic felt. It holds its shape better and it's just nicer feeling. I have like a whole bunch of different colours, so I chose coordinating blue colours for this. To make the kind of like, what do you call this part, like the keypad, the arrow pad, I don't know, the bit with the arrows on, you're going to want to cut out a cross shape. So I cut a square first, cut out squares off the corners, and then I'm left with the cross shape, and I just stitched that down just using regular straight stitch, just going over it. I like this because you could kind of see that it was really handmade, and yeah, I thought that looked kind of cute. I couldn't find a closer kind of colour match for that, so I thought that that would be, you know, a great option to have the thread actually like showing, so it looked really sweet. I then cut out 2 circles of a light blue wool felt, went in with the light blue thread and stitched those down into the exact same way, just over on the other side of the plush. And then I went in with a metallic thread and actually added some arrows to like the arrow key part, and I added like a little circle stitch in between that as well, then added some little markings with the gold stitch as well, just down in between that, just like on the original Game Boy where it has those little bits, and I put those on in the gold because I thought that would be really cute and nice and shiny, and I really like how it turned out against the blue. So next came adding the face. So my top tips for adding face when you're going through multiple layers of fabric is obviously to choose your toy safety eyes. I always use toy safety eyes for plushes, but the way that I actually attach them is by using a needle. So I poke it through the multiple layers and then I cut like on the inside layer against the needle, so I create a hole where that needle's going through, and then I flip it over again and just cut a hole at the top. So that basically means that the holes are lined up, so you don't have to draw a hole or draw a little dot or anything. Just use the needle and it's really quick and simple. So once the post of the eye goes through, I then just fluff up the plush kind of around it so that it doesn't get stuck underneath while I put the washer on. Once I'm happy with the placement of it, I then just stick the washer on the back and that secures it down. So like I said, to attach these, I just use that needle, cut a hole where I've poked the needle through on the front and the back piece of the plush, post the needle of the toy safety eye through, and that's pretty much it. To put the mouth on, I just sewed a little straight line today. I was kind of inspired by the Smoko Grashi face that you guys know I love, the little derpy face. I love it. I didn't really want to make him that happy, so I just made him with a little derpy face, and I thought that was really cute. So just a couple of stitches in place and that made the perfect little mouth there. So once you have all of your stitching and all your details and everything like that on the plush, you're going to want to turn it back like inside out, and then you want to take the other rectangle that you cut earlier and stitch that into place kind of in the same way that you stitched the first one. So you want to just line it up. I usually start with the corner on this part and I just start stitching away, making to move the rectangle as I go. I do this usually in two parts, so I start from one end, go around to the other, start from the other end, go around to the other, making sure I leave the top part unstitched. I then turn it the right size around through that hole at the top part where I didn't stitch, and then I just use my nails and fingers to press out all of the corners and all of the edges. So while I have that opening, I then take some toy stuffing. I use toy stuffing, but you can use pillow stuffing, whatever you want to. Any polyester stuffing will do, and I just start stuffing up my kind of piece. I usually add like literal 4 times as much as I think I need every single time. Like, you just want to keep adding stuff in until you're happy with the density of it. I like to add small bits at a time so it doesn't clump up and like go all lumpy. I want a nice smooth kind of stuffing in there. Once it's completely stuffed, I then just folded in the edges of the plush fabric again. As you can see here, just folding them in with my nails so no raw edges are on the outside and your fabric won't fray. And then you just want to take a similar thread and just stitch that down as I have done here. I'm just doing a normal stitch really, and then I just added a keychain to the top of mine because mine's obviously going to be a keychain. That's why I made it nice and small. So I attach a double split ring to the bottom of my keychains, so then I attach that, and that makes it a little bit more secure with the thread so that it doesn't, you know, unthread itself when it's on a bag or something. Then cut off the excess thread, and once that is done, my plush is then complete. And that's pretty much how I made this new updated Game Boy plush. So this is the final plush all up close. The fabrics that I've used on this is a Shannon fabrics brand, and I've used, I'm not sure what the colour is on this. It's a specific blue colour. They've got loads of blue shades, but I really like this one because it's kind of like a little bit minty. So I will leave the colour names of the fabric down below. They are the brand Shannon Fabrics. It's pretty much the only brand of plush fabric that I now use. Not sponsored, no ads. I buy it all myself. I just really like it. I've used wool felt for obviously all these bits. Love the metallic little features on there. I think they're so cute. I really like this plush size. I really think that I'm going to put this on a backpack of mine. I like the fact that it's quite nice and 3D and quite like chubby and stuff, and even though I have the stalks left on the eyes, I didn't used to do this. I used to like cut them off and stick them on. You still like can't really feel it because they're so chunky. Like, look, it's so cute. So yeah, that's today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any requests, then please do leave them down in the comments down below. Please give this video a like if you liked it, and I will see you tomorrow for another DIY.